It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Forget what they teach you in school. This is real life. Not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business. All the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation. Call us at 305-541-2350. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
You have chances to serve much more than...
Ziglar moment. I have a real good motivational minute. Let's play this and we'll talk some more after.
There seems to be a few determining factors for those who overcome. First of all, they've committed themselves, and commitment prepares you to meet obstacles and downfalls. Because if you've made a commitment to do something and disaster strikes or calamities take place or things don't go your way, you immediately start thinking, how do I solve the problem? If you have no commitment, your first thought is, how do I get out of this deal? And we generally find what we're looking for. And as I laughingly tell people, some people are about as committed as a kamikaze pilot on his 39th mission. Now, whether it's in a marriage or getting your education or achieving a weight loss goal or a sales goal or an academic goal, it doesn't make any difference what it is. Along the way, there's going to be those setbacks and reversals and disappointments. Again, if you've made the commitment, what you do is you continue on. People who've made the commitment not only and are overcomers, but they also prepare themselves. They expect to win. They prepare to win, and they take the necessary steps in order to get there. This commitment, combined with the persistence and the unshakable belief that eventually they will win, is what separates them. Interestingly enough, most of them I found are very humble people. They recognize that they cannot do it themselves. They need help. And that's where faith plays such an incredibly important role in what we do. So when you start adding humility, commitment, persistence, and character is the ability to carry out a good resolution long after the excitement of the moment has passed. Character is what takes them through. I've had so many coaches who teach this philosophy, and Charlie's one of them, who have said that these kids had character. They hung in there. When it looked darkest, they never gave up. That's what overcomers do. They never give up. They keep after it.
I'll tell you, that's a perfect lead-in for Donald Trump, because that's really what life is. We all have tons of setbacks and tons of problems, but we have to plow right through them. And that's what sets, I think, the winners as opposed to the people who give up. We really have to be an overcomer. And Zig Ziglar, I think, has it right all the time.
It's so true. And making commitments is number one in any job, really, but certainly in sales and working for yourself. The first person you need to make a commitment to is yourself on a daily basis.
You got to learn how to overcome, because there's all kinds of setbacks and obstacles in life. That's just what life is. And I happen to love Zig Ziglar and love his accent.
His voice, he's like an older Matthew McConaughey. It's unbelievable. I never realized it.
Zig Ziglar is great. My wife's actually texting me now saying he sounds creepy and depressing, literally as we speak, but I don't think so. I love Zig Ziglar. He's great. And I have news for you. I'm going to segue to Donald Trump, then we're going to get Brad on the phone. I actually heard a fantastic interview this week by, I don't know her name, she was the author of one of Trump's books. And one of the takeaways from the interview that I heard, and I'm really inspired by the guy, a little bit of a loose cannon, but he plows through problems and he won't admit defeat. He won't apologize. And I have to tell you, when he said the comment about McCain, I was very upset, because I'm a big fan of McCain and a big fan of veterans, and these prisoners, what they went through is unbelievable. So we could walk around in freedom. So they have my admiration. But I give Trump credit, because when he has a problem, and he has had a ton of them, like all of us, he plows right through it with bravado, and the force of his personality gets him through it. And I think we can. I know I can learn a lot about that, because when I get problems, I get depressed and lay on my sofa and cry like a little baby sometimes. But we need to all be strong and fight through it. So
I think he got himself into a lot of trouble recently with his attack on the lawyer.
Come on!
Who was trying to breastfeed during the meeting.
It's funny. I had a whole thing. I was going to talk about breastfeeding, but I'm not going to go into it. I'll save that for another time. But you know what? The truth is, do we want a president or do we want a leader who lives in a shell, who hasn't experienced anything? So what? He said it was disgusting. The truth is, I know women breastfeed and pregnancy. I don't want to go into pregnancy breasts too much. By the way, I think it's amazing that I could say breasts on the air and no one's like,
nice, right?
Yeah. But you know what? They should do it in private. And I don't know what happened.
I agree. I think it was a tactic by her and maybe a smart one, but he's getting into trouble because 50% of our population is going to side with her regardless of what he thinks. And look, my wife, to her credit, is going through it now, and she went through it with our first child. And you know, it's a serious responsibility that women have, and it hurts, and they get into a lot of pain, and there are times that they just need to do it. Now, it's like a guy, I mean, if he has to go to the bathroom, he's not going to just drop trow in the middle of a meeting. I mean, you need to excuse yourself to do certain things, and I think it's similar, and I agree with you. There are tactful ways to do everything, and that clearly wasn't one on her part.
I promise you, we're going to talk about breastfeeding another time, because I have a lot to say on it.
But don't you find at times Donald Trump to be obstreperous? I mean,
what's that mean?
I mean, it's like truculent. He's garrulous. I apologize.
Todd, you're using big words. I didn't go to college. I'm dyslexic.
He's over the top. He's a loose cannon.
He is. But he says some things that are out of line, and he is a loose cannon. But that's what makes his personality. I'm so sick of tired of these candidates who won't say anything. They're scared to say anything, of insulting people. And you know what? Sometimes that loose cannon, I think's plowed him through.
Next Thursday at 3 o'clock on 880 The Biz. If you want to send in your questions, comments, or ideas for shows, please email Jack Miller at geltfinancial.com. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business, or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
Turn